Financial Planner. Follow us on YouTube.
It's all about to hit the fan. The Cabal next move will cover it all up. They are trying. Let's get into the economic collapse, political and geopolitical news. Now we can see that Obamacare, it is imploding on itself. Premiums are set to rise in 2018. It looks like things are getting worse and worse. We see exchanges closing down. They're bankrupt, billions of dollars lost. And we see that there are senators out there trying to save Obamacare from the death spiral. Alexander Murray bill was introduced into the Senate, and it looks like it's dead in the House right now, and it looks like it's going nowhere, where they were trying to save Obamacare. Now, if Obamacare was so great, you wouldn't have to save it. And this is not because of Trump. This was happening way before this, before Trump even became accelerating, right? So we reported on this and how each one of the exchanges closed, how premiums were rising, and how Obama was faking the numbers and using other funds to keep the whole system afloat. Now, since all this is not happening, you can see what is really happening with Obamacare, where it is completely and just utterly falling apart right in front of our faces, and it's accelerating right now, and they're trying to save it any way they possibly can. Now, last report we talked about how the truth is coming out, and we are seeing a lot more of this, and a lot more information is going to be coming out. But the Cabal, they might do something to completely cover all this up. So we're going to have to watch this very, very carefully. We see the Senate Judiciary Committee. They have launched a full-scale giving Moscow into a Russian nuclear bribery case. And what is that case? Well, that is the uranium case, which we already discussed. And they are looking into this. They want to know what has happened. They know that Obama administration approved the deal back in 2010, giving Moscow control of a large swath of American uranium. And the FBI had gathered substantial evidence that Russian nuclear industry officials were engaged in bribery, kickbacks, extortion, money laundering, and we know a lot of it went to the Clinton Foundation, and the Clintons were paid. Now there's an investigation going on. We also see the Trump Dossier creators, the two co-founders of Fusion GPS. Guess what? They are pleading the fifth. Thomas Catan and Peter Fritsch, they plead the fifth to every question asked of them. Now, if this was a real dossier and they had all the proof and everything, they wouldn't have to plead the fifth. They would tell the truth. They would say, this is how we got it. This is where it came from. It is backed by facts. Guess what? It is falling apart. Now, the CIA, and this is very interesting, going all the way back to JFK, the assassination of JFK, the CIA is urging Trump to delay the release of 3,000 never-before-seen documents on the JFK assassination. Now, most of these individuals are dead already, but we know that this was a complete cover-up. We know this was a false flag, and basically what they want is they don't want this information out there, because if people learn that the intelligence agencies were behind all of this, well, the people are would be like, wait a minute. These documents are saying that the CIA was behind this? These documents are saying that the CIA is behind the Islamic State? These documents say that the CIA is behind what is going on in Afghanistan, going on in Syria, Lebanon? Because this is what would happen. It would be a domino effect. It wouldn't just stop with this. It would go from one to another, and information would come out, and people would be absolutely shocked, because there's a lot of people who are completely in the dark, and they like to stay that way. They don't want to know the truth. They want to just stay in the dark and pretend that everything is fine. We also see that the CIA is having a problem with their torture report. Now, they can't get their story straight. Some are saying that it's shredded. Some saying they misplaced it. They don't know where it is. And once again, this is about taking individuals, arresting them, keeping them in a prison where they have no rights whatsoever because it's outside the United States, and they are tortured. And once again, they're trying to cover all this up. Now, what we're seeing here is a lot of these truth bombs are coming out. They're rising to the surface. And the Cabal is not going to allow this to happen. Now, if they do allow this to happen, they have lost all power. So we're going to have to watch what they do, because we can see right now that things are starting to really fall apart. Now, we know things are falling apart in the Middle East. We understand that the Syrian government, the Russian government have pretty much taken back Syria. The Cabal has nowhere to go. The Kurd problem, well, that is also falling apart. And the sanctions with Russia, that might be falling apart also. The new German government will gradually begin to lift sanctions slapped on Russia back in 2014, since they are harmful first and foremost to the economy of Germany. And this is coming from the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, saying that yes, this is what's going to happen. And when Germany formalizes its government, they will gradually lift sanctions, because sanctions shoot those who accept and support them in the kneecap. And we can see right now that once they start lifting these sanctions, well, it's game over, because they'll have no way to try to control Russia. And other countries then, those sanctions will be lifted. And actually, many of the countries, they're bypassing all these sanctions. Now, out in Qatar, Qatar's foreign minister, has accused Saudi Arabia of trying to engineer regime change during its 4-month blockade. And what they're saying is that the Saudi government officials are talking about regime change, and they want basically to bring back the dark ages of tribes, and they are putting them together in order to create pressure on connecting tribes in Qatar. And they're trying to basically remove the government that is there. And remember, they're dealing with Iran right now. They want to change things up, but I don't think this is going to happen. I think it's too late already. Saudi Arabia is already making deals with Russia with their S-400 military missile system. They're also making deals with their gas system. And we can see that many of the countries in the Middle East, they are doing the same. The UN is saying that 61,000 people have fled the northern city of Kirkuk in the past 48 hours. The UN says that these individuals, well, they're heading north and east because, again, they thought this was going to be a Kurd area, and they were settling in, and now they are leaving. And we can see right now the Prime Minister al-Abdi out in Iraq is saying, listen, the Kurdish independence referendum, it is finished and has become a thing of the past. And to take this a step further, Germany has suspended training of the Kurdish fighters in northern Iraq. Now, the United States was paying the salary to the Kurdish army. Payments have stopped. Germany is suspending training and paying these fighters. What is happening right now, the writing is on the wall. And these countries are starting to realize it's time to get out. And this is what they're doing. Because at this point, we can see that the Middle East is falling apart. The Cabal has lost control there. They're going to try to maintain control, but pretty much everything has been lost in this area. The only thing that they really have left is North Korea and Iran. Even here in the United States, a lot of truth bombs are starting to come out, and we're going to see a lot more of these come out, and a lot of people are going to start questioning a lot of things, and a lot of people, well, we're going to see them appear in front of Congress trying to explain why they did what they did. And as we move forward, this is going to accelerate. Now, once again, they understand they only have a certain period of time. Now, they love to cover this stuff up. How do they do it? They do it with events. They cover everything up with some type of an event, and most likely, as like we've been saying, they're going to try to do something. They're going to try to create the event of all events, because think about what's happening right now. Everything is deteriorating very, very quickly. And they're already giving us warnings about the stock market. It's in Yahoo Finance, Business Insider. Mnuchin is also out there saying, listen, if you don't do what we say, we're going to, bring down the stock market. They're pushing the idea. And we can see that they're pressuring certain individuals to do what they want. And once again, they're prepping the entire economy for this collapse scenario. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, the whole system's going to come down. one way or another. But they want to set everything up so they are not to blame. And this is what they're preparing for right now. And this is why they're feeding us this information. This is why the propaganda is coming out about North Korea, about cyber attacking, about hitting the power grid, about having nuclear weapons explode over the United States, creating this EMP pulse, which is going to knock out our electric. They're continually doing this because they're prepping us for this major event, and that is what is coming. This is why you need to be prepared and ready.